Have you ever looked into an animal's eyes and wondered what it sees when it looks back? Not your name, not your job, not your life story, just you. Imagine for a moment that every animal on Earth could answer one simple question. What do you think humans are? A dog might smile and say, "That's my family." A cat might yawn and reply, "That's the giant. That opens food cans." A deer wouldn't answer at all. It would already be running and somewhere high in a tree. A crow might quietly whisper, "I know that face." The strange thing is, every one of those answers would be true because animals don't see the world the way we do. They don't know what countries are. They don't understand money, cars, or smartphones. They don't care whether you're famous or completely unknown. Instead, they judge you using something far simpler: your smell, the way you move, the sounds you make, and most importantly, what usually happens when you appear to some animals, your safety, to others, your danger, and to a few, you're one of the most fascinating creatures on Earth. So, what do animals actually think of humans? The answer depends entirely on who's looking. If any animal understands humans, it's probably the dog, but not for the reason most people think dogs don't believe. You're another dog. They know you're completely different. You don't bark. You don't wag your tail. You walk on two legs. You smell nothing like them. Yet, despite all those differences, they still choose to treat you as one of their own. How? The answer goes back thousands of years, long before cities, before farming, before written history. Wolves began following ancient human camps at first. They came for scraps of food. The least fearful wolves stayed close. Generation after generation, those wolves slowly changed, not just in appearance, but in the way they understood us today. Scientists know that dogs can read human facial expressions, follow where we point, recognize our voices, and even sense changes in our emotions. Some studies have shown that when dogs and their owners look into each other's eyes, both release oxytocin, the same hormone involved in bonding between parents and children. That's extraordinary, because almost no other animal shares that response with us to your dog coming home. Isn't just another moment in the day, it's a reunion. You're the one who brings food, protection, comfort, routine in many ways. You're their safest place in the world. But here's the twist. Dogs don't love every human. They learn individuals. They remember kindness. They remember fear. And they constantly watch our behavior to decide whether someone can be trusted, which raises an even stranger question. If dogs learn to understand us over thousands of years, what about an animal that never wanted our friendship? Cats have lived beside humans for nearly 10,000 years, but unlike dogs, they were never truly domesticated in the same way. Dogs changed to fit into our world. Cats mostly invited themselves into it. Early farming villages attracted mice, attracted wild cats. Humans tolerated the cats because they protected stored grain and without anyone planning it. A partnership began. That's why cats are so different. A dog runs to greet you. A cat decides whether you're worth greeting at all. But don't mistake independence for ignorance. Cats know exactly who you are. They recognize your voice. They learn your daily routine. Many even know the sound of your footsteps long before you reach the door. Then there's one of the strangest facts in the animal kingdom. Adult cats almost never meow at each other. Instead, they reserve that sound almost entirely for humans. Some researchers believe cats developed this behavior because it works. Over thousands of years, they've learned that humans respond to high-pitched baby-like sounds. In other words, cats may have trained us just as much as we've trained them. But if cats learned to communicate with humans, could other animals do something even more surprising? What if some of them could recognize not just our species, but our individual faces? Because high above us, watching from rooftops and treetops, one bird has been quietly studying humans for years, and it almost never forgets a face. High above busy streets, perched on rooftops, telephone wires, and tree branches, a crow is watching you. To most people, it's just another bird, but to the crow, you're not just another human, you're you. Scientists made a surprising discovery when they asked volunteers to wear strange masks while capturing and releasing wild crows. Years later, the birds still recognized the same masked faces. Even more astonishing, crows that had never been captured began reacting too, as if the information had spread through the flock. In other words, crows don't just remember people, they can teach other crows who to avoid. Imagine making one crow angry, only to discover that every crow in the neighborhood seems to know your face. That's because, to a crow, humans aren't one giant category. We're individuals. Some are safe, some are dangerous, some are generous enough to leave food behind. Others are worth shouting about from the nearest tree. But while crows watch us from above, animals living on the ground see something very different. different. Imagine, you're a deer. The wind shifts. A tall figure appears between the trees. It walks on two legs. Its eyes face forward. It moves toward you. Do you stop and wonder whether it's a teacher, a doctor, or an engineer? Of course not. You run, because wild animals don't judge us by our identity. They judge us by patterns. For thousands of generations, the pattern has been simple. Humans often mean danger. A fox notices how quickly you move. A rabbit watches where you're looking. A bear pays attention to your distance. To them, survival depends on making the right decision before it's too late. Yet something interesting happens in cities. Pigeons weave through crowds without panic. Squirrels wait patiently beneath park benches. Foxes quietly wander suburban streets after dark. These animals have learned a different pattern. Not every human is a threat. Some drop food, some simply walk past without paying attention. Over time, animals don't just learn what humans are, they learn what different humans usually do. But if life on land has taught animals one version of humanity, life beneath the ocean reveals another. Now imagine, you're a dolphin. A strange creature enters your world. It can't breathe underwater for long. It kicks awkwardly. It blows bubbles. It wears strange equipment just to survive. Where you were born. Compared to a dolphin, humans are terrible swimmers. Yet dolphins often approach us with curiosity instead of fear. They circle, diverse, investigate boats sometimes. They even help lost or injured people. Now imagine, looking up, something larger than a school bus silently glides above you. A whale. To an enormous whale, a human is almost insignificant in size. Yet many behave with incredible gentleness around swimmers and small boats, carefully adjusting their movements as if they understand how fragile we are. And then there's the octopus. Perhaps the strangest mind in the ocean. Some octopuses have learned to recognize the individual people who care for them. In aquariums, they react differently to different keepers, not because they understand our language, but because they've learned our patterns. Which brings us back to the question we started with, so what do animals really think of humans? There isn't one answer to a dog, your family; to a cat, you're a reliable roommate with opposable thumbs; to a crow, you're a face worth remembering; to a deer, you're a decision that must be made in seconds; to a dolphin, you're an unusual visitor. Every animal experiences a different version of humanity, not because they understand our history, our politics, or our dreams, but because they understand something much simpler. Behavior. Every time we feed an animal, chase one away, protect one, or harm one, we teach it what kind of creature humans are. Maybe that's the most remarkable truth of all. Animals aren't asking, what is a human? They're asking, what happens when this human appears? And the answer depends entirely on us.